I will let you in on a secret. The planet we live on now is not the planet our grandfathers lived on. The rules that apply are no longer nature's millennia-old rules, but the ones we've written in the last few centuries. Welcome to this new geological age, the Anthropocene. This term, derived from the Greek words anthropos, meaning human, and xenos, meaning new, defines this era where human activities have become the dominant force over the planet's natural processes. This isn't just a scientific name, it's a declaration of a reality where we must confront our own actions. So how has the balance of power shifted in this age? Let me put it this way. 1,000 years ago, only 2% of all animals on the planet were human. The remaining 98% were part of the wild. Today, we humans and the animals we've confined to farms for consumption make up 98% of all animal biomass on the planet. What's left for wildlife? Just 2%. The shock, perhaps the anger, you feel upon hearing these numbers is not misplaced. This isn't a statistic. It's a signature our actions have carved onto the face of the planet. Humanity's overwhelming dominance over the planet's ecology has grown exponentially, especially during the period known as the Great Acceleration, which began after the 1950s. What is this 2% doing to survive in this new, hotter, more concrete, and more plastic world we've created? The word adaptation no longer signifies a slow and majestic process, but a brutal race for survival. We are not just polluting the environment or destroying habitats. We are also rewriting the rules of natural selection. Traditional advantages like speed, strength, or stealth are giving way to brand new traits like tolerance to city noise, the ability to use new food sources like garbage, or resistance to chemical pollution. In this race, who is falling behind and who is unexpectedly surging ahead? And most surprisingly, what new life forms are emerging from our trash heaps? Come, let's pull back the curtain on this new world together. Tears of ice and silence of ash, the losers of the adaptation race. In the Anthropocene era, evolution has turned into a ruthless elimination mechanism for some species. Specialized species in particular, which are tightly bound to a specific habitat or food source, are struggling to keep up with this rapid change. The perfect adaptations they developed over tens of thousands of years have become their greatest weaknesses in the face of the chaos we've created in just a few decades. Polar bears are the most iconic and tragic victims of climate change. The sea ice, which is their habitat, hunting platform, and breeding ground, is melting before our eyes in the Arctic, which is warming at about twice the rate of the global average. This situation makes it nearly impossible for them to reach seals, their main food source, which they hunt on the ice. Studies have painfully revealed that these magnificent predators now expend much more effort to hunt, are too exhausted to eat their prey after long swims between ice floes, and that their new strategies, like hunting on land, are not enough for their survival. Scientists' future projections are chilling. If carbon emissions continue at this rate, the polar bear species could be completely extinct by 2100, except for a few small, isolated colonies. Perhaps the most painful part is hidden in the words of Stephen Amstrup, a scientist at PBI. For the first time, we saw that cubs could not survive. The cubs will be born, but the females will not have enough body fat to produce milk throughout the ice-free season. This is the story of a species being slowly condemned to starvation over generations. Koalas, the adorable icons of Australia, are under attack from two fronts in this new world we've created. First, the mega wildfires triggered by the climate crisis, which have become uncontrollable, and relentless deforestation are rapidly destroying their homes and habitats. In just one fire season, 24% of koala habitats in the state of New South Wales were turned to ash, and at least 5,000 koalas perished in these fires. The second, more insidious threat lies in their food source. The increase in atmospheric carbon dioxide levels is changing the chemistry of eucalyptus leaves, their only food. The protein content in the leaves is decreasing, while the concentration of toxic compounds like tannins is increasing. This means that even if they manage to survive, the leaves they eat no longer nourish them or are poisoning them. This double pressure is rapidly bringing koalas to an end. Experts warn that if urgent and radical conservation measures are not taken, the koala population in New South Wales could become extinct as early as 2050. The fact that the conservation status of these cute animals was downgraded from vulnerable to endangered in just 10 years shows how urgent this silent scream is. Their story may be the farewell of a species that cannot keep up with the pace of evolution. The new rules of the concrete jungle and accelerated evolution. But the story doesn't end here. For some species, the chaos we've created has opened an unexpected door of opportunity. Cities no longer belong only to humans. They have become the newest, fastest, and most brutal laboratories of evolution. In these concrete jungles, the rules of survival are being rewritten, and some creatures are adapting to these rules with astonishing speed. The Anolis cristatellus lizards living in the cities of Puerto Rico are living proof of this accelerated evolution. Life in the city is very different from life in the forest. Instead of tree branches, there are slippery walls. Instead of soft soil, there is hard concrete. To adapt to this new environment, urban lizards have become visibly different from their forest relatives. To better grip smooth surfaces like glass, metal, and painted walls in cities, they have evolved larger toe pads with more adhesive scales called lamellae. They also have longer legs and arms to run quickly between distant and open spaces like buildings. This is not just a behavioral change, it is a real evolution etched into their genes. When researchers compared the genomes of urban and forest lizards, they found that 93 genes related to limb and skin development had diverged in the urban populations. This is concrete proof of how natural selection has favored these traits in the urban environment and how quickly evolution can work before our very eyes. Sea turtles are among our planet's most ancient travelers, but now they must change their routes to survive. One of the most critical factors determining their fate is that the sex of their hatchlings depends on the temperature of the nest sand. When the nest temperature is around 29 degrees Celsius, half of the hatchlings are female and half are male. However, temperatures above this increase the number of females, while lower temperatures increase the number of males. Global warming is turning traditional nesting sites in the Mediterranean into a veritable female factory. This dangerously reduces the number of male individuals needed for future population reproduction. Worse still, when temperatures exceed 33 to 34 degrees Celsius, most embryos die. To escape this deadly heat, turtles have begun a migration towards cooler waters and beaches with an instinctual wisdom. Loggerhead sea turtles, caretta, which normally nest on the southern coasts of Turkey, have now started to be seen on the Aegean and even Sanaikali coasts. Green sea turtles, the traditional inhabitants of the eastern Mediterranean, are shifting to new areas further west, such as Fethiye and Dalyan. This is a striking example of how a species is redrawing geography to avoid extinction. However, scientists are concerned that this behavioral adaptation alone may not be sufficient by the year 2100. The new rule of size. Bodies shaped by human hands. Without realizing it, we are even redesigning the body sizes of animals on the planet. A study in France, which examined approximately 81,000 animal bones spanning an 8,000-year period, revealed a surprising dual evolution trend. In the last 1,000 years, wild animals under human influence, like foxes and deer, have been getting smaller, while the animals we have domesticated, like cattle and chickens, have been getting bigger. The reason behind this opposing change is entirely us. Wild species are trying to survive under the pressure of habitat loss, dwindling resources, and hunting. In these conditions, smaller individuals that need less energy and can reproduce more quickly become advantageous, and natural selection favors them. For domestic species, the situation is the exact opposite. We select them to produce more meat, milk, eggs. By artificially breeding the largest and most productive ones, we shape their bodies according to our own desires. This is one of the most direct and visible impacts of the Anthropocene on evolution. Now, I will take you to an even stranger world, We are no longer just in the Anthropocene, but also in a new sub-era within it. I call it the Plasticocene, the age where our plastic waste shapes the planet's geology and biology. Millions of tons of plastic waste have invaded the oceans, the soil, and even the air we breathe. This is a monster of our own creation, but life finds a way in the most unexpected places. In 2016, in a sample taken from the sludge of a plastic bottle recycling plant in Japan, a discovery was made that shook the scientific world: a bacterium named Ideonella sakaiensis. This microscopic creature had an incredible ability. It could obtain energy by eating PET, the material used to make water and soda bottles, one of the most common and difficult to recycle plastics. So how did it do it? Evolution had designed a brand new digestive system for this bacterium in just a few decades. The bacterium secreted two previously unknown special enzymes to break down PET, PETase, and MHETase. These enzymes work as a team. PETase breaks down the long and complex polymer chains of the plastic into smaller pieces. Then, MHETase steps in and converts these pieces into terephthalic acid and ethylene glycol, the basic building blocks of plastic. The bacterium then happily consumes these simple molecules as food. This is the most striking proof of how quickly and creatively evolution can find a solution to a synthetic material that has only been in our lives for 70 to 80 years. This discovery holds the potential to revolutionize the fight against the plastic pollution that is choking the planet. Scientists have already succeeded in copying and improving these enzymes in the lab, creating super enzymes that break down plastics much faster. This raises hopes of solving a massive problem of our own making with technology inspired by nature. Our waste has become a new resource for nature. This is the most modern and shocking example of a fundamental principle of ecology. All these incredible changes are happening right now, outside, as you watch this video. We are witnesses to a moment unprecedented in the millions of years of evolutionary history. Future generations will read about this biological revolution, these great extinctions, and these incredible adaptations of our age in books. But you don't have to read about it. You can be one of those who write this history. Don't miss this moment, because it will never happen again. How? With that small device in your pocket. Your smartphone is no longer just a communication tool, it's also a scientific data collection station. With apps like iNaturalist, when you take a picture of an insect in your garden or a lizard in the park and upload it, you are contributing to a global database. Maybe that lizard photo you took will be new evidence of urban adaptation. When you record a bird you see with the eBird app, you are helping scientists understand the changing migration routes due to climate change. You are no longer a passive observer. You are part of this family. We are a community that documents, questions, and tells the story of our planet's transformation. Now it's your turn. Write in the comments. What is the strangest change you've noticed in the behavior of animals in your own city or town? A pigeon building its nest in a weird place? A fox you saw in the city center? Or an insect species you've never seen before? Tell us, because your observation could be a missing piece of this giant puzzle. I can't wait to read your answers. Remember to subscribe and turn on notifications, because this story is just beginning.